what can he do, like in a sense. And then and then Tyrell gives him the ridiculous suggestion of saying that of thinking that he could be the king. Learn that he's the king of the brothers, so and even though he's like fourth in line, he could be king, which is, I guess, it's still a strange aspiration for this Renly dude because he doesn't have any he doesn't have any real desire, right? Why does he want to be king? So it's sort of so the scene is, how should we say, rather flimsy and flippant. That's probably the best way to describe it, flimsy and flippant. And in terms of, like, two men, flimsy, and then and flippantly decide, oh well, I might as well try this game and be king, which is sort of, so I kind of have this that's maybe so I guess it's, flimsy and flippant in a, although in a really sad way, right? Because you can't really take on these decisions without, expecting some blood and some, personal and something and some some personal aspersions on you know. And then oh, and what I really did like was the conversation between Varys and Baelish. That was perfect. That was in the throne room. That was really nice. It was a very you know, that's when it's, yeah, they're trying to one up each other in terms of who knows more about what without, without actually saying without actually saying in detail what exactly they know. And in the end, it seemed like Baelish won. Baelish lost because, they take him away to they now I'm going in the long way. I'm not going in straight fashion, but they make him lost. So he loses in a sense because they ushered Varys to the deciding table to decide over the Targaryens and the little boy problem. And then and Baelish is then and Varys is, because, like, you didn't know what's going on, because, Varys knows and Baelish didn't. But I thought it was, funny with but Baelish really comes out very is it's sort of nasty what men do in his whole house. They he once lived with amputees, one likes fresh corpses, one likes very little boys. So it's sort of it's it's strange to think of Baelish with this guy, supplying all these demands and still having some sort of still having crushed flame with Caitlyn. That was, but still the conversation was tip top. That was good. And then with Caitlyn, there was a scene with him. So Caitlyn and Tywin, it turns out that she was not going to take him to Winterfell after all. He was going to lead her to her sisters, and she's very what's the word? And then in the middle of nowhere, they get attacked by some, I don't know, savages, not savages, but like maybe highwaymen, whatever they're called. And it's funny, in the middle of them, in the middle of that fight, Tywin saves Lady Stark from certain death, and it happens to be his first kill. And it's so funny because here's a man who spends a lot of because he's, obviously he's sensitive about his height, but also he has cultured his persona to be calm at all times, even though he's in chains and he's taking a certain disgrace for what he knows is what he knows are the crimes of his siblings. He has cultured his persona to be cool through all of it, but then he loses it. But then he loses it in this first kill. you see him like really savagely, like hitting with the shield. That was hard to watch. Also, seeing the head cut off of a horse, that was also hard to watch. So that's and then so they Caitlin leads they lead up to the to Erie where her sister lives, to the place of the tulips, and then they get to see a strange sight of the tulip, her sister, and the son. Oh, I can't remember the name of the son. I believe. Oh, whatever. He's not worth naming. He's a child and 6 years old. I believe. I don't know. He's six or seven, child, and he's still on his mother's breast. Taking that was very disgusting. But even so you have this woman who is like obviously disturbed that her husband John Aaron was killed and she believes rightly believes that she's murdered, and she's feeling very paranoid, and that paranoia has transformed her motherly instinct into like clutching this boy on his breast and like you know believing that when John Aaron says the seed is strong, he refers to this twerp. Like he can't do anything. But it was funny. So she's very disturbed. But then you see Caitlin back on the sister is up on the throne and Caitlin is down on the floor, and she has this look of what did I just do? What is going on here? How did this happen? She has this look of horror of like what to do with this sister of hers. And then so it's like I think it would have been perfect if she exchanges really uncomfortable glances with her prisoner Tyron, like going over what to do with this, because she was like she did not want to hand over Tyron to this crazy bitch, but alas Caitlin is in Tully territory and she can't do anything about it. So Tyron gets thrown into the dungeon, and his dungeon is a very clever dungeon. It only has 3 walls. The open face is a sheer drop to the very very high mountains. So even at that moment when Tyron sees that the walls where should have been is a sheer drop. He doesn't change his expression much. He's like, oh, I suppose this is how dungeons are, which is I guess he regains his cool versus when he was there having his first kill, like bashing the head of the soldier. So there was nothing on Targaryen, there's nothing on Jon Snow, which is fine. Personally, when I read the books, I didn't care for Jon Snow that much, but but also the crucial scene was the conversation between King Cersei and the Queen and the King. That was very. When I read the books, Cersei was she was very unlikable. There's nothing to her. But which is strange. Which is not strange, but that's where she is. But then when I watch the show, when I'm watching this show, Cersei comes up as a very even though she's unlikable and she's cool, she still has you can't forget that she's human, and you can't forget that there are very valid reasons for why she's where she is now, why she's where she is now, and you can't you can't just dismiss her like a dismissive dislike. You can't do that you can't do that against her dismissively, and you get the even more you could even with this conversation between her and the king, you see even more why you can't just dismiss her as the crazy bitch, like